Hi, my name is Olivia Burnham, and I chose to do my first career profile on becoming part of an adoption agency counseling staff, working specifically for an agency. And the agency that I chose to research was the National Adoption Agency, which is the biggest one here in the United States that I could find at least online. And they're based out of Philadelphia, but there's offices around. And as a member, as an adoption agency counselor, what you would be doing is working with adoptees. So that means children who have been adopted, as well as birth mothers. So women who have given birth and given their child up for adoption, and also parents of adopted children, parents who have adopted children. For a lot of reasons, adoption is hard, and it can really cause struggles in people's lives, parents and children, and you're not my mom, all those hardships that can come to an adopted family. That's what you would be dealing with, helping those children or parents work through those problems and those heartaches and be able to really manage that. And I think that would be a beautiful line of work. One of the stresses of that job is obviously those hard situations that you're dealt with and that heartache, and it's part of the social work field. So anything related to social work isn't going to be, peaches and roses all the time. It's going to be hard. But I think it's really rewarding. I I haven't done it, but I would even go on a limb and say I know that it's really rewarding that those people, you can really make an influence in their life, impact them, help them, and help make their life a little bit happier. And I mean, is there anything better than that, right? But that is a stressor, I think, for me personally, that I would have to overcome. It's hard to be in those situations, not let your own heart break a little bit, but I think it'd be worth it. A adoption counselor usually makes average, according to BLS.org, on average around $38,000 a year, which is on the lower middle side, but again, rewarding work. Typical job tasks include normal filing sort of work, documentation, counseling, and really being flexible. That's a huge thing with this job, is being able to work with the people that you have charge over. There are even some counselors who will go to the home, counsel in the home. That's usually more for an agency. People who work for agencies will go into the home. People who work in counseling centers and then they focus on adoption, they'll work in a center. But of course, that varies depending on where you work. Educational requirements: a bachelor's degree in psychology, social work, or other areas is what I found is what is required as a minimum. I think that majoring in marriage and family is a cool emphasis to have taking into this job, because instead of focusing on just psychology or just social work, you're working as an adoption counselor with families, and you've majored in how to help families specifically. And I think that that'd be a really cool edge to bring into a job like this. If you're doing counseling work, of course, a master's degree is also very helpful. Master's degree in social work would probably be most beneficial, but you can work with just a bachelor's degree. And if not as a counselor, if not as a counselor specifically, you can work in these agencies in other forms with a bachelor's degree. An extra piece of information that I found to be helpful with this job profile is that it said that it's a really good idea to do volunteer work and internship work in an adoption sort of situation, an adoption setting, adoption agency setting, if you really want that upper edge when applying for jobs like this, because adoption is such a specific field to go into that you really need some specialization in that realm. And so doing volunteer work and internships for adoption agencies before you try to apply for a job would be most beneficial. And that is what I have found in this first career profile to be an adoption agency counselor. Have a good one. Bye.